Well, welcome to it then. Welcome to another episode of The Sweet Spot, brought to you by the Racing Post in association with SBK. I'm Dave Clark. He is the GOAT, Steve Palmer. Steve, why are you not grinning from ear to ear, my man? What a week.
Oh, I should be grinning from ear to ear. No, I've had one of the best weekends ever. I'd say. Not just the betting. Obviously, the betting went really well, but the darts as well. We met Luke Littler. Me and Tommy Tiger met Luke Littler on Saturday night. So we had the joy of meeting Luke Littler on Saturday night, and then the golf couldn't have gone much better on Sunday. So yeah, no, I am happy, Dave. I'm just a bit jaded.
Jaded. Well, listen, we can forgive you that. I mean, we'll park the darts for a while because two winners, Steve, at big prices. Joyous. We'll run through some of the comments on YouTube very shortly. But listen, we weren't too far away from some sort of treble as well.
Oh, blimey. Yeah. I mean, lots of punters have been getting in contact with me. Bruce Millington, former Sweet Spot presenter, has been in contact with me. I mean, he had the Stracker, Couvre, Kevin Yu treble. He did lots of trebles. So, I mean, that came to 116,000 to 1 at SBK prices. So yeah, loads of people have had pre-tournament doubles and trebles. I always do just one treble, all the number ones. Which didn't come off. But in running after on Thursday morning when Martin Couvre, can't believe I waited this long to say his name, when Martin Couvre started like a train, didn't he, in Turkey? So then I added him into treble. So I had some lovely in-running doubles and trebles. And then on Thursday night, after Daniel Berger made a very slow start in the Truist Championship, we'll go through all these events individually. On Thursday night, Berger was slow out the traps, and then I had some more in running doubles and trebles on Thursday night while I was watching Question Time. So from Friday morning onwards, I had some wonderful positions that developed, and it was one heck of a weekend, wasn't it, Dave?
It was. Listen, greed is one of the deadly sins, as it were. But would Shane Lowry have been a better result for you then in terms of the wagers?
Shane Lowry was slightly better. Yeah. I mean, the Couvre Stracker double in running was excellent. I got 17 to 2 and 14 to 1. So those two combined was magnificent. Yeah, obviously the guys who did the pre-tournament doubles have got much healthier prices. I mean, Chris Gotterup was the man I had my eyes on, Dave. Chris Gotterup in the Myrtle Beach Classic. He was the man in all my trebles. I didn't have Kevin Yu in any trebles. And Chris Gotterup just stalled on the Friday. We'll go through all the tournaments in a minute. But I mean, greed is a terrible sin. I refuse to be unhappy, Dave. I refuse to be unhappy. I mean, I was moaning about Kevin Yu not winning the Myrtle Beach Classic to a few people on Sunday night, but that was just for comedy value, really. I mean, I know you can't have it all, but the Couvre Stracker Gotterup treble. I wouldn't be here now, Dave. That was the face splitter. Chris Gotterup let me down a bit, but I feel like the face splitters coming. That was really close. A lot of people would have had that treble, and Bruce has already retired. He doesn't need to worry about the face splitter, but there's plenty of people in the comments section that we'll come to that were clearly close to a big one there, but lots of people have had a big one. So no, we're in good form going into the major, and we should be very happy.
we're going to look back and look forward as ever as we do on this show, but it's a major week.
It's a major week, and the Sweet Spot community. We've got such a great community here, and they're going into the major with a healthy pot, aren't they? So we've got to keep our heads. It's lovely going into a major with a healthy pot. I mean, I just love the regular viewers that we have, Dave. Regular viewers, regular commentators. And if you go through the comment section this week, it's just a joy, isn't it? You've got some great characters in there. Tommy Devine, Giles Moore. They always make me laugh. You got Martin McKibben, Jack Fisher, Aaron Markham. He's our American friend. He's desperate for the merchandise.
Desperate for the merch, isn't it? Let me spin through some of them.
You spin through them.
Sticky says, Steve, outstanding homework this week. Wallet getting fat with a PH this weekend.
Cool way of spelling it, isn't it?
We've got Tommy Devine. Martin is up. Come on, Shane and Steps, who was cheering along. Giles Moore, as you say. Ale Lecouvre, get in there with his blonde Scousers perm. Love it. Great work again, Steve. The Palmer factor. Mark McKibben, as you mentioned, Unreal Tipping, Steve. Jack Fisher, Steve strikes again. What else we got here? Ray Stevenson. He was actually an interesting one from Ray Stevenson, and we'll get onto this. But he said, Steve, after Justin Thomas's woeful putting on the 15th. He is a no for the big events, but we'll get on to him.
We will come on to that.
Lawton says, thanks so much, Steve. 2 winners. Wayne Oak standing double this weekend. And then, listen, people have won big, talking big numbers. Mr. Meehan says, well done, Steve. Kevin let us down for the mortgage buster, but hats off.
Yeah.
What else we got here? Susan Peterson had a little idea who to back this week, so I decided to be selective with Steve's tips, Kuvra and Stracker. There you go. Good choice being selective. Aaron says, great tipping. And cheers, Dave, on the each way trebles nod. You got to do the line bets. Got to do the line bets.
Yeah.
And listen, I won't go into some of the amounts.
Dugro Zugro. Dugro Zugro, Frankie Burton, Sweet Spot legends. Mike Miele is a new friend from America. Mike Miele, what a great name. We've got American brothers. I love that we've got American brothers now. Carlo Balza. What a name that is. Carlo Balza.
But we flag him up because I know that you take great joy and pleasure from people following you and winning a few quid. So that's what we're here for. Yeah,
and we've got a great community, and they've all got great names. Aaron O'Halloran, what a name that is. Richard Blackshaw's always good value. Dan Avery, Dean Partridge. I could go on and on, but I just love the vibe we got going here. We're all in it together, and we're going into this USPGA with our tails up. Or tails.
Good. Fat wallets and
people have 2 tails.
Banks topped up and all sorts. But what I will say, spend it. You don't need to up your stakes. Just keep going as you're going and spend the winnings. Then you can't give it back. So that would be my advice for you. You're here, of course, on the Racing Post YouTube channel. Do remember to like, join in and comment with us and subscribe. A big week of action as ever coming up on the YouTube channel. Look out for a special football show as well we've got coming up this week. Loads of cup finals everywhere. So we've got you covered. Horse racing, golf, football, dog racing, the lot right here. So do make sure you like, comment and subscribe. Right, Steve, I know you like to go chronologically. So tell us what order in which we're going to look back on the 3 tournaments.
Well, the Turkish Airlines Open finished first. Yeah, that's the first one. And then with the Truist finished just before the Myrtle Beach Classic.
Okay, right. Do remember, of course, to get involved in terms of our sponsors, BetSBK. If you jump onto their website, sign up, bet 10 and get £30 in free bets. 18 plus, gamble aware, terms and conditions apply. But bet 10, get 30 in free bets with SBK, betsbk.com. Right then, we are going to go to the Turkish Open, and your main man here, 17 under, Martin Kuvra, 60-1. Jorge Campillo and Haotong Lee, 2 shots back at 15 under par. Talk us through it.
Well, he was awesome on Sunday. I mean, he was such a worthy winner. I mean, he had no luck on Sunday. He had 2 horrible lip outs, but it didn't matter about the bad luck because he was playing so well. He birdied half of his holes on Sunday. Such a confident putter, beautiful swing. Lovely controlled fades all day. I mean, it was a joy to watch. This is a great young golfer. Fantastic head of hair has been mentioned. I mean, what a haircut. He's 22 years of age, going places fast. I mean, I don't think we're going to get the fancy prices anymore. He opened up 100-1 on Monday. The Shrudies gobbled him up on Monday. Sunday's final round. I mean, it just the amount of times I said, yes, Martin. I mean, I probably need to explain. Do you know what I'm talking about when I say that? Because it's the Graham Taylor documentary day from many moons ago. I was watching.
You have explained it before, yes.
I had all sorts of family members. I had it on in the lounge because I wanted the big TV for that one. So I had it on in the lounge, and my kids and my wife going past, and every 5 minutes I'm just, yes, Martin. And they're confused. I had to explain it. Obviously the kids are too young to watch that documentary, but Graham Taylor, Do I Not Like That documentary from many moons ago, the England manager. And, Martin Keown was taking, they were practicing penalties. The England team were practicing penalties. Martin Keown, obviously not a great penalty taker. And just before he's about to take his practice penalty, Graham Taylor goes 33-1, Martin. And so sort of mocking him, saying how rubbish he is at penalties. And then Martin Keown did a fantastic penalty. And Graham Taylor just goes, yes, Martin. And it's just a catchphrase that I now apply to Martin Kuvra, who's got one of the best names in the business. So, long live Martin Kuvra. Great future ahead of him. Such a happy chappy.
A Frenchman. There's a few decent young French players knocking about now.
Yeah, French golf is in a good place. Chinese golf is in a good place. I mean, obviously, Hao Tong Li was looking like he was going to be the party pooper. He was the big problem. The 13th hole was the turning point. It was a joyous moment on the 13th hole. Did you see that shot? Hao Tong Li tried to hit it over a load of trees, and he hit it straight into the top of the tree, and it plopped down. And I love Hao Tong Li, but that was a very ambitious shot. I mean, he's probably.
Can you replicate your reaction to that shot there? You mentioned it was joyous.
my reaction was actually turning the TV up to about 80 on the thing, because my son he's a very noisy boy, and I couldn't really hear what was happening. He couldn't really see where the ball had gone. So then I had to get the volume up at 80 just to find out where it got. And then when I saw Hao Tong looking at his caddy and getting all agitated about things, I was absolutely delighted. But I mean, they say trees are 90% air, don't they? It always makes me laugh when commentators say trees are 90% air. I mean, Hao Tong Li must have hit the 10% there, and thank the Lord for that. So yeah, it couldn't have gone much better. Although, classic Steve. I'm going to moan about Marcus Kinholt now. Did you follow him?
I did. Well, there was glimpses. He's won at a big price, wasn't he?
He's looking certain to deliver the place money. He's in 5th place playing the final hole. He's gone from 5th place to 12th place because he made a double bogey at the last hole. He had 2 double bogeys on the back 9 on Sunday. So we missed out on the big price place money to go with the Martin Cougar winning. But as I say, not going to grumble. PMA.
Okay. Do you want to move on, or do you anything to add for the Turkish?
I'll just do one more. Yes, Martin. Now we can move on. Thank you.
Right, we can. To another winner, the Truist Championship. Now, we exchanged messages very early on during this golf tournament that you had this by the short and curlies, and it looked good, didn't it, a long way out?
It did. I mean, Daniel Berger got off to a slow start and then came good at the end. I mean, he finished 11th. He finished 1 shot shy of 7th place. So we nearly got Berger in the places, but the other 2 were just just galloping away at the front early doors. Yeah, it was great to see. I mean, Sepp Straka has become such a steady operator, isn't he, Dave? I mean, he's a 4-time PGA Tour champion now, 32 years of age. The Truist is the biggest title of his career. He was 2nd in the 2023 Open, played Ryder Cup that year, but I'd say he's in the form of his life now. I think it's safe to say this is the best he's ever played. He's 2nd in the FedEx Cup standings, Dave. Sepp Straka's bank manager will be getting so excited. Just doesn't have any bad rounds now. Apart from that first round at the Masters that we mentioned, he's just so consistent. Last week, 63, 67, 66, 68. Will this be a stepping stone to a major victory? We've discussed this before, haven't we? Has he got the minerals for a biggie? Last week was a biggie. I think he has got potential to win majors, because I don't know if you noticed, Dave, the crowd were really against him on Sunday. Shane Lowry had his fan club out, lots of Irish supporters there. Justin Thomas had his fan club out. Yeah. Straka's bad shot for actually getting there was a time when he hit one into the bunker and there were cheers from the gallery. The fact he was able to handle that and succeed, bodes well for Ryder Cup. He's going to play well. He's probably going to be on the Ryder Cup team. All credit to Sepp Straka. Maybe he has got a biggie in him.
2-shot winner, 16 under par. Lowry and Justin Thomas at 14 under par. Incidentally, 43 to 1 we flagged up on the show with SBK last week, who of course offered a 25% winnings boost as well. So well done to anyone who took full advantage of that. And they're doing a boost as well on the PGA. We'll get to that. But on Lowry and JT, I actually thought Lowry was close enough if he was going to be good enough, but he maybe just wilted a little bit late on there for me.
Well, the putter was cold all day, wasn't he? He just didn't hold the putts, and he was 2 over par for the closing 3 holes. I mean, it was a shame what happened on that final green. He would have been staggered not to have claimed clear runner-up position. And the lack of victories would be tormenting him now. He looked an angry man. He looked agitated. He's been consistently contending but not winning anything. So I think Shane Lowry's an angry man going into the USPGA. Sepp Straka's a happy chappy. Justin Thomas, your commentator mentioned that the putt on 15. I mean, blimey, I was so pleased to see that miss. I was overconfident early in the round, Dave. It was a bit of a weakness of mine because I backed Justin Thomas to be top American. You see, so I was cheering Justin Thomas earlier in the round, thinking, oh, yeah, Straka and Lowry are comfortable. And then when it got to that part on the 15th, I think, right, okay, I'll stop I'm stopping cheering Justin Thomas now. This is getting a bit too close for comfort. And it was lovely. It was always low, wasn't it? It was such a poor putt. It was 3 foot 9 inches. And that's a really untimely dent to confidence, because the Justin Thomas putting had been coming good, and his putting had been really good over the last few weeks. But I think the old problems came back to haunt him there. So bad timing for the Truist Championship for Justin Thomas, and bad timing for the USPGA. Loads of people fancy him for the USPGA, but we're getting to that soon. He's not for me.
I want to ask you about one more player, Bridgman.
Yeah, Bridgman. Yeah, lovely to see Bridgman bank a healthy check. One heck of a putter. I mean, Bridgman's got potential. He just doesn't hit it very far. But last week's
some of his numbers. So I'm looking at some of his numbers. I mean, he's blown hot and cold because he's missed a few cuts as well. But some of his numbers are unbelievable. The number of top 10 finishes he's had. Yeah,
driving distance is a problem. But on last week's course, that's why we sided with your Strackers and your Lowrys. It was fine. But Bridgman, one of the best putters on the circuit.
Right. Anything else to add?
No, sir. No. Myrtle Beach Classic.
Okay, right. Let's move on to the Myrtle Beach. And this was a 3-way playoff, this one, won by Ryan Fox in the end. Talk us through it, Steve.
Well, it was a 3-way playoff, and I really wanted one of the other two to win because Ryan Fox was on the shortlist. That was the sort of player that we were looking to back last week. We had a team of powerhouses. I did consider Ryan Fox. He played well in the Houston Open a month ago, but he was rubbish in between the Houston Open and the Myrtle Beach Classic, so it put me off. But he was 4th in the Myrtle Beach Classic last year, so he obviously loves this track. Mackenzie Hughes and Harry Higgs nowhere near the shortlist. But Fox has won big titles. Obviously, he's won the BMW PGA at Wentworth. I feel like it was a missed opportunity on Foxy. But Kevin Yu, I mean, he's 36th in the putting stats. We mentioned last week he's an elite ball striker. He's a fantastic player from tee to green. But the putts let him down last week. He finished 1 shot shy of that playoff. If we could just have got another cut of putts from Kevin Yu, he might have won. But he finished 4th on his own, full place payout. So he paid for the staking plan of the Myrtle Beach Classic, and then we won bundles on the other two. So we mustn't grumble. Chris Gotterup's round on Friday. The putt, he was one of the worst putters in the field on Friday. Chris Gotterup finished 13th. So like Berger, 1 shot shy of 7th place. He's another one who loves that course. And we also must mention for anyone who hasn't, betting shot punters, Pearson Coody was a non-runner day. Did you notice? Pearson Coody pulled out, so he only had 13 tips across the 3 tournaments last week. If you haven't got your Pearson Coody stake money back, then you should have. And again, I try not to be negative, Dave, but I can't help thinking, if Pearson Coody had played, would he have won?
Don't go
because there's been no reason given for why he pulled out. I don't think it was any injury. I think maybe it's some family issue. But 15 under par topped the leaderboard last week in the Myrtle Beach. That was not a very impressive total. 22 under par won the previous year. So if Coody had played, he probably would have almost certainly got to 16.
So it would have been stakes back, wouldn't he? So anyone who done the each way trebles would have copped another double on top of that.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. Well made. Yeah. Hopefully some people got a little bonus booty there. Yeah.
Lovely. Right, is that it then for the look back? And week. Beautiful.
Yeah, we've got to look forward. We're not in the looking back game. We're in the looking forward.
Have you spent any of that money? You did send me a video of Junior teeing up in the garden. So was that where some of the winnings went?
Well, it was his birthday yesterday. Obviously, we went to the darts on Saturday night, and he wanted to get some Luke Littler darts, and they were like £48. And I, normally I would gobble that up, and but I knew it was his birthday coming up the next couple of days, so I didn't want to overburden him with gifts. And
good parenting.
Well, that was it. Yeah, I do get a lot of stick from the wife for being overzealous with stuff like that. So I got some brownie points from Dave Clark, some brownie points from the lady wife. But then obviously if Saturday had come before Sunday, it might have been a bit different, because obviously Sunday was a glorious financial boost.
But he's got a new driver, right?
He's got a new driver. Oh yeah. He's got a new driver. He's got Rory McIlroy's driver for his size. And he was pounding the drive. That was his best present he got yesterday, in my opinion. He's been pounding dry. We got some Luke Littler flights now. I might get some Luke Littler darts now, but yeah, it was great.
Yeah, there are. I definitely didn't pay for. I've got some here. I definitely didn't pay 48 quid for mine.
48 quid they wanted for him. Yeah, we got some flights. But yeah, Luke Littler was such a nice lad, Dave. I know you want to get on to
say, what was he like?
Well, the punters are desperate for tips, and but I mean, yeah, Luke. Yeah, we queued for ages to meet Luke Littler, and we got a photo with him. He had the World Championship trophy, and he was so good with Tommy. And Tommy said, "Can I touch the trophy?" And he said, "Yeah, touch the trophy." So yeah, we were just all over the World Darts Championship trophy, and then yeah, Luke was brilliant. He stayed on. He just waited. He had so many people wanting a photo for him. He just waited and waited away. So yeah, got a lot of time for Luke Littler. Long live Luke Littler. Long live Martin Kuvra. Wayne Mardle was a late addition to that lineup. He put on a great show. It was his birthday. You know, the great entertainer. So everyone was. It was just such a great time. I'm buzzing. I'm probably annoying people with my buzz here. They just want USPGA tips, but
they do. I did see a video of Wayne doing his walk on as well, which was beautiful to see. So
and everyone sung happy birthday. Everyone sung happy birthday to him. He wasn't impressed with that because obviously when you get to our age, you don't want a birthday, do you? And yeah, he taught my son a few more swear words, I must admit. But yeah, he had a good time. Everyone had a good time. Everyone's buzzing.
A good egg. He's a good egg, Wayne. Right, shall we get to it then? We should get to it.
Yeah, we should.
It is the second major of the year. We are off to where we perhaps should have been last week, Quail Hollow, but we'll get on to that. It is the PGA Championship, Steve. And it's a biggie. Rory has already won the first one. He's our market leader here. We'll get on to all of that, but first talk to us. We spoke a little bit about the course last week because that's where the Truist.
Well, you say he's our market leader, Dave. It's actually really up for grabs on who's going to be.
He should be. I don't care. It's going
to be very close. We'll come on to who should be, but yeah, it's interesting market that. But yeah, the course obviously we know it well, but there's been loads of changes through the years, which we will also come on to. Quail Hollow Club, Charlotte, North Carolina. I've got a friend who lives in Charlotte, so it gives me a little edge. I'm always texting him every 5 minutes for weather updates. So 7,626 yards, par 71, 3 par 5s. Quail Hollow has hosted the Wells Fargo Championship on the PGA Tour numerous times, 2003 through 2016, 2018 through 2021, 2023 and 2024. Hosted the USPGA in 2017, but that was in August rather than May. It hosted the President's Cup in 2022, but that was in September rather than May. The course has changed a lot through the years. By far the most relevant course form is from last year's Wells Fargo, because between the 2023 and 2024 Wells Fargos, the course got some new grass, Dave, new fairways. It used to be fully Bermuda grass. They switched to a new custom perennial ryegrass blend, bit of a mouthful, between 2023 and 2024. So concentrate on the 2024 form above all others, because it slowed the track down, this ryegrass blend. I don't think the 2017 USPGA is worth much, actually. I've seen so many Justin Thomas backers this week, but I think they're putting too much stock into that 2017 USPGA win, because the greens were new that year. They were firm, they were fast. Lots of players hated them. There was lots of angry players that week because the course wasn't ready to host a major. The greens were in poor shape. The renovation had not gone well leading into the 2017 USPGA. This week, the course is in much better shape. It was a paradise for big hitters before any rain fell this week. Now we've had bucket loads of rain, bucket loads. I got my friend in Charlotte sending me videos. Those spectators were even allowed into the course on Monday.
Yeah,
yesterday.
I saw that. That is massive, isn't it? There must be the ground must be just soaked through.
It's completely flooded. I think the only person on the property was Hideki Matsuyama, who just ridiculously was on the practice putting green, basically drowning. I don't know, absolutely no idea what he was thinking, but he was literally the only person in the place practicing his putting with rain, just in max and stuff. So Hideki Matsuyama's clearly losing his mind. But the point is, this is a really long course, Dave. It's playing longer than ever. There's no run on the fairways. They mow the grass towards the tees like they do at Augusta. So no run on the fairways. Only long drivers need apply for this tournament.
Carry. We need carry. That's what
we need
at, right?
carry. We need cash and carry. Sunny, warm, and calm for the actual event. So it's going to dry out as the week goes on. But first couple of days at least, it's a mudlarks territory. And, we've got a field of 156 going to post.
Right. Well, let's talk. You spoke about Wells Fargo and course form. This track, of course, has hosted a number of events, and Mr. Mcilroy's name is next to the trophy quite a few times.
Yes, Dave. No, don't you worry. There'll be plenty of Rory Mcilroy chat in this broadcast, and your Grand Slam hopes are still very much alive.
Oh, I'm just getting a little bit excited. Right, let's do a market check then before we get your selections. Right, I've got 5-1 joint favourites, Rory and Scotty. If you shop around, Bryson DeChambeau 9, Justin Thomas 20. I will flag up, of course, the SBK are doing 30% winnings boost. So just like they did last week, 25% back of the net with Steve, 30% on top of your winnings here. So stand by for the selections with SBK. You'll get 30% on top. How many in the team, Steve?
We got 3 tips, Dave. Looks a fairly straightforward tournament to me. There's one outstanding candidate for success, and then I got 2 fantastic value outsiders at enormous prices.
Okay, right. Who is the main selection?
Rory Mcilroy. How can you oppose Rory Mcilroy this week? The most likely winner of the tournament for me. His Quail Hollow record, as you alluded to, Dave, absolutely magnificent. His USPGA record in general, absolutely magnificent. He loves the way they set up the courses for the USPGA. I'm feeling pretty confident that he's going to complete a USPGA hat-trick on Sunday. We've had Rory in mind for this tournament all year. I mean, we had our majors ACCA at the start of the year. I think we got 9-1 Mcilroy in the majors ACCA. We wrongly assumed that he'd be turning up at Quail Hollow looking to end his major winning drought, Dave. Never assume. Makes an ass out of you and me. It's a very different story, Dave. Very different story. He's turning up with a green jacket in his locker. He's a member of the most elite club in sport now. He's a Grand Slam winner. He's going to turn up at majors now relaxed. He said it himself. He's relaxed. He knows he's a living legend. Whatever happens from here, loose as a goose, Dave. Loose as a goose. And a loose Rory Mcilroy is a dangerous beast indeed. Going to be dangerous in any majors going forward. We talked about monkeys, didn't we? The biggest monkey in monkey world leapt off his back. When he birdied the first hole of that Masters playoff, everything changed for Rory. He's a pressure-free golfer now, I would suggest. The monkeys are running wild. I fancy Rory will run away with the USPGA Championship because it's crazy. He's teeing up this week. He'll be bursting with confidence wherever they were going to be playing. He's teeing up at his favourite PGA Tour venue. It's mental how the stars align. We were on him last year, you might remember, Dave, for the Wells Fargo. Thoroughly enjoyable tournament. That was his 4th Quail Hollow triumph. Closed with a 65, won by 5 shots. Masterclass. Xander Schauffele chasing his shadow. And last year's event, as I mentioned, is by far the most important course form we've got. The only one where the agronomy is the same. I love that word. The agronomy is the same. It was a May event last year at the Wells Fargo. It's on ryegrass. Mcilroy hated the conditions in the USPGA. This is why I want to put punters off looking too closely at that 2017 USPGA, because different grass, new greens that were not ready to host a major. Mcilroy was an angry man that week. He was saying, this is not the Quail Hollow. This is not the same Quail Hollow that I love. But it's back to how he likes it now. He was bouncing around the place 12 months ago. This year, couldn't have gone much better, let's be honest. Pebble Beach Pro-Am won that. Players' Championship won that. The Masters won that. I'm still processing that I'm able to say Rory Mcilroy has won the Masters. The ghost of Augusta laid to rest. He always feels good at Quail Hollow, no matter what's been happening. It just relaxes him. He had a lot going on last year in his life. Just as soon as he sets foot on this property, he's relaxed. He's never been more relaxed than he is now. I think he expects to win, David. I think he expects to win a 6th major title this week. I expect him to as well. And that early week rain, just the icing on the cake. I just think he's emphatically the most likely winner. His maiden PGA Tour title came in this in 2010. Do you remember that, Dave? How old were you in 2010? You're just coming out your teens. I mean,
a lot younger than I am now. Yeah.
I mean, those were the days. I mean, a week after he won that 2010 event at Quail Hollow, I played golf with him. He come to Royal Dublin, and he was bouncing around the place. Had his shaggy hair back then, he's just gone on to dominate at Quail Hollow. He won by 7 shots at Quail Hollow in 2015. 7-shot victory. He's had 14 starts there, Dave. I'll finish soon. I could talk all day about Rory McIlroy. He's had 14 starts there as a pro and 10 top 10s. So if you're planning an each way bet, which obviously I'm going to be encouraging because I love these each way bets at short prices, you say you got 10 places. You've got a lovely watertight bet for me there. So he's had 10 top 10s in 14 starts. His scoring average is 69.48. Again, incredible. He's 55 shots more under par than anyone else at Quail Hollow. Emphatically the man to beat for me. I respect Scotty Scheffler. We'll come to Scotty Scheffler, but McIlroy should be favourite in my eyes.
He's got the carry. He has got the carry.
He's got the carry, and he'll get you the cash on Sunday.
Okay, let's hope so. So he is the joint favourite, if you like. We'll get on to whether he should be favourite or not, because I want to get your other 2 players as well. Steve, who else? Who's the next best?
Yeah, the next best is Davis Thompson. My staking plan consists entirely of former world #1 amateurs, Dave. So Brendan Duke can swagger around Ireland in his sweet spot hoodie, bursting with pride. McIlroy was a world #1 amateur in 2007. Thompson, world #1 amateur in 2020 and 2021. He won his Corn Ferry Tour maiden title in 2022. That was in his first season on the Corn Ferry Tour. He won in June that year, and the victory came in North Carolina. He's teeing up in North Carolina again this week. He nearly won the American Express as a PGA Tour rookie in 2023, you might remember. John Rahm pipped him in a close finish for that. He did get off the mark on the PGA Tour last July. John Deere Classic, a 4-shot victory, a hugely satisfying week for his backers. One of the reasons we supported him for that was that he'd finished 9th in the US Open the previous month. So, such a bold effort in the US Open. That was the first time he'd made a cut in a major. It was a few days after his 25th birthday. This was a golfer coming of age. Davis Thompson came of age last year. The start of this year, he's been a little inconsistent. He's had some amazing rounds, but some awful ones as well. But from the Players' Championship onwards, so over the last couple of months, he's been really solid. He hasn't missed any cuts. He was 10th at Sawgrass, 27th in Houston, 46th on his Masters debut, 27th in the Heritage, signature event. He got better each day there. His driving was great, which is very important. I think driving is the key to success this week. He drove the ball really well at Heritage. 23rd last week in the Truist, where his short game was excellent. His driving was a bit ropey, but his short game was magnificent. So he closed with a 67 on Sunday in the Truist. So if he can put it all together, his Heritage driving with his Truist short game, we could have fireworks. So this is a class act, this player. I think he's playing his way into peak form day for the summer. So massive price, great each way bet, and don't be scared. Don't be scared because this tournament throws up first time major winners day. Let me give you a stat just before I shut up. I know you're trying to. It's hard to contain me today. But 23 of the last 39 US PGA champions were breaking their major duck. Maybe Thompson can be the latest to do so. Definitely good enough to win majors, I think. Typically a really strong driver. I'm excited. I really am very, very excited, Dave.
Steve, I don't want you to shut up. You're buoyed by last week. The pecker's up. You're in full flow. Yeah, I can feel it oozing out of you. So just give it to me now.
I appreciate that.
Anyone watching this, I want you to pause the video right now and try and guess who the other selection's going to be, because you've given us a clue that obviously a former amateur world #1.
Oh yeah. Go on, have a little guess. Have a little guess while I give you a little bit more info on Davis Thompson. Because I thought you were keen on me to shut up. I want to make one last point.
No. Give it to me.
People might be wondering what his Quail Hollow record is like. And he's played there once, and he narrowly missed the cut in 2023. But bear in mind, PGA Tour rookie at the time, he was in really poor form. And so he's returning 2 years later, much more assured, PGA Tour champion. He's 50th in the world rankings today. If you look at his price, you think, oh, blimey, you're getting the world number 50 here, enormous price. And he's a Georgia man. This is a key point. He's a Georgia man. Georgia is a state which neighbors North Carolina. He's playing close to home this week. He's got a good record close to home, just being hugely disrespected in the market.
Has he got the carry?
Yes. Oh, yeah, he's got the carry.
Okay. Yeah. Right. You've made your guess as to who Steve's third selection is going to be. Give it to us, Steve.
Yeah, he's a long way down the lists. It's Patrick Rodgers, another former world number one amateur. I mean, he looked like the next Tiger Woods in 2014, Dave. You might chuckle at me, but back then, myself and many others thought Patrick Rodgers was going to be the next Tiger Woods. He was matching records set by Tiger Woods at Stanford University. Stanford University is basically, it's had the Tiger Woods era, then it had the Patrick Rodgers era, then it had the Maverick McNeely era. They know how to produce a really good golfer at Stanford. I think my son, if he continues to improve at this rate, I'll send him to Stanford. And then hopefully there'll be the Tommy Palmer era. Rodgers turned pro in 2014 with the world at his feet. He won on the Corn Ferry Tour in 2015, Dave. And then he finished second in the Wells Fargo Championship at Quail Hollow. He was runner-up to Rory McIlroy in 2015. So at that point, you're just thinking, blimey, it's all in front of Patrick Rodgers. The world was his oyster. He just rocketed up from 721 in the world rankings to 137th. It seemed like he was going to rise and rise. It's truly staggering, Dave, that a decade later, he's still a PGA Tour maiden. But it's fine margins in this game, and he's just not had the breaks at the right times. He's lost 2 playoffs, Dave. The first of them was in 2018 in the RSM Classic in Georgia, not far from Quail Hollow, as we've discussed. Charles Al pipped him there with a birdie at the second extra playoff hole. Rodgers has finished second on the PGA Tour 4 times. He's finished third 4 times. He's been knocking on the door. He's only 32. Surely at some stage he's going to knock through the door. Not through the gate of the winners' enclosure. I think one of our commentors pointed out the other day that there isn't a gate on the winners' enclosure because the horse wouldn't be able to open it. But we wouldn't even worry about that. But I think if Patrick Rodgers gets a bit of luck, this could be the way. And he's not scared of majors arenas. They're not scared. I'm telling punters not to be scared. Patrick Rodgers is not scared. His majors record is pretty solid, really. He's played in 8 majors and he's made the cut in 6 of them. He hits it an absolute country mile, Dave. Country miles are longer than actual miles. Conditions suit him this week. Loves the course, and he's been in good nick, Dave. He's been in good nick. Can I say a few more things about him?
Feel free to. Has he got the carry?
Well, he's 100% got the carry. And when you look at his price, you just think, blimey, the bookmakers not been watching. They're not been watching what's been going on this season. I mean, maybe I'm being a bit too cocky as I've just had a couple of winners, but he finished third in the Genesis Invitational in February, did Patrick Rodgers, a PGA Tour signature event. He was third in that. He was leading for a bit. He's had 6 top 25s this year. He was 15th in the Byron Nelson the week before last. He was playing soft that week. His length helped him there. So, decent recent performance. Contending for a signature event in February. He had 3 closing 69s for 42nd spot in the Truist last week. And bear in mind, he wasn't even in the Truist field at the start of last week. It was when Jason Day withdrew. Jason Day withdrew. Patrick Rodgers is in Myrtle Beach, Dave. He's got a dash from Myrtle Beach to Pennsylvania for the Truist. And he made a sluggish start, understandably. Closed with 369s. I mean, Rodgers is a magnificent each way, but I know you like your top 20s and your top 40s and your top 30s.
Oh, I call that. All of them.
You love them all. You love it all, Dave. Don't you? Love it all. And he's such a big price. You're going to get lovely prices and all those things. I mean, you can't even find him on your computer there. Yeah, the computer says no. The computer says no.
I'm looking for him now. And what sort of price he is? He's a long way down the list. He is a mile down the list.
Yeah, and tell me why he is. I mean, it's bonkers. Yeah. So yeah, I think I love my staking plan this week. Yeah, the man who's going to win, and then two players that have been hugely disrespected and are well capable of getting in amongst it.
Well, listen, apologies for looking away, but I was genuinely trying to find him down the list.
No.
I've gone a long way down, long way down. I can't believe what bigger price he is. He's sandwiched between Taylor Moore and Ben Griffin on the list.
There you go. No. We're in for an exciting week, Dave.
Well, listen, if you're backing with SBK, you can get 30% winnings boost on top of that as well. So there you go. That is Steve's team for the PGA Championship at Quail Hollow. We must tackle. Let's go for a listen. We're only previewing one event this week. It is a major. So let's dive into those at the top of the market. Let's start with the Chef.
Yeah, the Chef. I mean, absolutely awesome at the Byron Nelson. After that tournament, I was encouraging bookmakers to make him favourite for this. There's a little bit of a mischievous comment from me because I had my eyes on McIlroy for it. But it's a little bit. It's going to be very close to see who goes off favourite. A lot of people think Scotty Scheffler should be favourite this week. A lot of people think Rory McIlroy should be favourite this week. I'm definitely in the McIlroy camp. I mean, that Byron Nelson performance was impressive, but he's got hardly any Quail Hollow experience as Scotty Scheffler. And what he does have is not positive. He's never played in the Wells Fargo Championship. I mean, that's staggering in itself. It was never on his schedule in the olden days. Even when it became a signature event, he missed it because it became a signature event in 2023. Scheffler, because he's very committed to the Texas events, he opted to play the Byron Nelson that month instead of the Wells Fargo signature. Last year, Meredith was about to give birth to baby Bennett. So Scotty had no interest in playing golf anywhere. So he's not played in the Wells Fargo. The only competitive experience Scheffler has of Quail Hollow is from the 2022 President's Cup, which we mentioned was in September. Massive flop in that. He played 4 matches and he won only half a point. So America won the President's Cup as they always do. America got 17.5 points. Scheffler only got half a point for his team. He lost his singles match to Sebastian Munoz. So Quail Hollow has got bad vibes for Scotty Scheffler.
Well, that's quite remarkable. You talk about bad vibes, the lack of vibes.
Yeah, bad vibes for Scheffler. Him and Sam Burns were embarrassed. They put Scheffler and Burns together, great mates, big expectation, and they contributed hardly anything. And then the singles lost to Munoz, humiliation for Scheffler. He's not played Quail Hollow on this grass type. I mean, he had last week off, so he's given himself time to adjust. His caddy will help him a lot this week. He'd be relying on his caddy a lot. Ted Scott used to caddy for Bubba Watson. Bubba Watson played Quail Hollow every year. So Ted Scott will be helping Scheffler, but Scheffler's got the bad vibes, whereas Rory's vibes, as we say, Rory's just inspired by this venue. So for me, it's McIlroy over Scheffler, and then you go from there. I mean, there's quite a lot of players under 25-1. You say your name, and then I'll say what I think.
Well, I've got to tell you, I know we want the big prices to be in the frame, but what I'd give for another final pairing of Rory and Beefy Bryson, the rematch again would be remarkable. And listen, he's definitely got the carry, hasn't he, Bryson? What are your thoughts on him?
I'd like to see the rematch again, and I hope this time Rory McIlroy doesn't even shake his hand on the first tee because
don't talk to him, don't even look at him, nothing.
It's pathetic, wasn't it? Bryson throwing his toys out the pram after saying, "Oh, he didn't talk to me." Rory McIlroy's trying to complete the career Grand Slam. He said all week that he needs to get in his bubble and focus, and then Bryson DeChambeau is expecting hugs and kisses on the first tee and bants. Bryson DeChambeau wants some bants. Probably going to put it on his bloody YouTube channel. Rory McIlroy did not want to have any bants with anyone. Bryson DeChambeau. I think the mask slipped a bit after the Masters, and the sort of baby Bryson came out again. We have to respect him as a player. Soft Quail Hollow sets up lovely for him. He finished 4th in the Wells Fargo a few years back, but he hasn't played at Quail Hollow since 2021. The course has changed a lot since then. And I just think the live schedule does their boys no favors. I mean, there's been 7 live events this year, Dave. I'll pose you a question. How many of those 7 events have been in the US of A?
Not many. They've been clocking up the miles.
One. Live Miami in the first week of April. So these live guys have been to Saudi Arabia, Australia, Hong Kong, Singapore, Mexico, Korea. We're growing the game. But are you preparing well for majors? I don't think you are.
But he is a winner. He did win though, Bryson, didn't he? So his pecker will be up.
His pecker's up. But I think Bryson DeChambeau, I respect him, but I just think his prep's not ideal, and his course experience is not ideal. So yeah, I've got a line through him.
What we'd give for that final pairing, though, that would be box office.
Yeah.
Right, JT, we spoke about JT's sort of going to be scars from last week.
Yeah, JT, as I say, 2017 USPGA, the market's putting too much stock into that. The course is very different to now. He's too short in the betting now for me. Don't forget how loose his driving has been. Loose driving could really cost him this week. The rough is juicy this week. I mean, Mcilroy missed a few fairways last week, but he's sort of easing his way. Well, he missed a lot of fairways last week, but he's easing his way back into competition after the Masters. He was ill playing the Zurich. That last week was his first tournament as an individual since the Masters, I think. And Mcilroy said afterwards he couldn't get his target, he couldn't get his sight lines because it was very open last week. Of course, he never played before. Yeah, when he gets to Quail Hollow, the targets are clear, and that definition of the tree line fairways he seems to like. So, but Justin Thomas, missing fairways everywhere. Yeah, we're gonna have juicy, wet, rough this week. So, and that putt on 15 that we've been talking about, I think it was a real significant confidence sapper.
I've seen lots of pictures of JT already this week lifting the trophy when he won this event. I love a good trophy. What a magnificent one for the PGA.
Yeah, the Warner-Maker Trophy. Yeah, you could get a few drinks in that, couldn't you? It's absolutely enormous. I mean, at the darts on Saturday night. Sorry to go back to darts. It's just your classic arena, isn't it? Where getting a pint is not enough. They sell these great big. I didn't get involved because I was driving, but I think these sort of 5 pint in one things. The jug, yeah. So how many could you get in the Warner-Maker Trophy? Rory McIlroy will find out.
Right, what about Xander Schauffele?
Xander Schauffele, I mean, good course record, runner-up to Rory McIlroy in last year's Wells Fargo. Every department of his game is back in decent shape after that injury layoff, apart from his driving. And his driving has been rubbish this year. It's the most important club in the bag this week is the driver. So yeah, for that reason, I'm out.
Jon Rahm is a massive price, probably the biggest price he's been for a while for a major. How big would he have got for you to have been like, listen, I might have to have him on side at this sort of price?
I need a bit more, Dave. I mean, he hates Quail Hollow. He was 58th in the 2017 USPGA. That was his worst result of that year. I know I'm saying not put much stock in the 2017 USPGA, but he had some temper tantrums that week, I remember. And he took an instant dislike to Quail Hollow. He didn't make his Wells Fargo debut until 2021. So 4 years later, he gives it a go again. That was the only cut he missed that season. And again, he was critical about the course again. It's a fascinating one, Jon Rahm. He's never returned to Quail Hollow since that 2021 missed cut.
Maybe he won't turn up on Thursday.
Well, I hope he doesn't. His caddy, this is fascinating, Dave. His caddy, Adam Hayes, lives half an hour up the road from Quail Hollow. So his caddy has been begging him to come back to Quail Hollow to play.
How long has he been on the bag with Jon Rahm?
Oh, yeah, forever. Yeah, a great combo. And he's been begging him to come back to Quail Hollow, and he's never managed to convince him to come back. But yeah, Rahm, ultra critical of the course in the past. So I know we chanced him at the Masters foolishly, but he's not for me.
Okay, right, let's keep going. Who else have we got here? We've got Ludwig Aubert.
Great driver. I want great drivers on my side this week. Course debutant. You might remember prior to last year's Wells Fargo, he was due to play, qualified to play, had a knee injury. Later went on to have knee surgery. So that's a disadvantage having never competed on the course. And he's been pretty poor since the 72nd hole of the Masters. Anyhow, he was in contention at the Masters, triple bogeyed the 72nd hole. Left Augusta, really disappointed with that. Then he was 54th of 72 in the Heritage, 60th of 69 finishers in the Truist last week. Only 69 finished. Justin Rose got ill. So he's gone off the boil, hasn't he, Ludwig Aubert, since the final hole of the Masters.
Collin Morikawa.
Love the pronunciation. Absolutely glorious. Colin Morikawa. Yeah, this is a slog for him, Dave. Yeah, we mentioned the weather. This is a long, wet track.
How far
Humdrum.
behind the likes of Rory is he off the tee?
Oh, a country mile, 2 country miles. Yeah, it's a humdrum course record. And I don't think this caddy switch is going to work out, Dave. I don't know how you feel on the matter, but I think he's made a terrible decision. He worked really well with JJ Jakovac, and they were similar characters. It's all about relationships, isn't it? Player caddy. I think the most important thing is your relationship. If you're similar characters, you get on well. And I think him and JJ Jakovac were perfect together. I think he's made a really knee-jerk decision to, the criticism. He'd gone 500 days without winning, but I think he's been trying to find a reason and I think it's a knee-jerk reaction, and I just don't think Joe Griner's a good fit for him. They're contrasting characters. So in the Truist last week, they had one good round and then they were rubbish for 3 rounds. He's not on my mind at all.
I have disembarked off the Morikawa train quite a while ago. He was always good for like a top 20. But just not a winner, and we're trying to win golf tournaments, aren't we? So not just a couple more, Steve. What about Neiman?
Neiman, blown away. It's time, isn't it? It's time for Neiman to show up in majors. His major record is absolutely rubbish. Phil Mickelson says he's the best player in the world. Let's see. If Neiman doesn't get into contention here, then serious questions going to be asked, because his live season's been fantastic, but I need to see him contend for a major before I back him for a major, I would say.
Right, I've got one more player who I want to ask you about, who just showed up a little bit last week, Patrick Cantlay.
Yeah. Patrick Cantlay, a long victory drought, isn't it? His last victory came when the old king died. He got into contention on Sunday, then made a real hash of a hole middle in the round. Putted a bit better last week. He's not been putting well. There's just not. I'll give him better top 20 bet, I'd say, than a win bet.
Have you got anything for us? Top 5, top 10, top 25, top whatever, top. What we got?
I'll give you a couple of tops, because I'll have more tips in the racing post over the next couple of days. Okay,
we'll get to that. I was going to ask you about the coverage, but what you got for us?
Yeah. So I'm still working on a few things, but obviously the top American market is of interest if you look at our outright staking plan, because I think a Northern Irishman is going to be lifting the Wanamaker Trophy on Sunday. So your Davis Thompson and your Patrick Rogers investments, you back them in the top American market, then I'd say you got more chance of getting the winner there. The place terms won't be as good as they are in the outright market, but Thompson is available at 80 to 1 in the top American market. Rogers is 175 to 1 in the top American market. So
I like
it's a great angle, isn't it? Great angle to attack those two. And then the other one I'll give you is the top Australian market, which I think is fascinating, because Jason Day was due to play in the Truist last week, pulled out of a neck injury. We've been saying, Jason Day seems unusually fit lately. What's going on? But that brittle body of his has capitulated again. He's had to pull out of a signature event with a neck injury. He really likes Quail Hollow, and he's done well in the past. He's won the Wells Fargo, but if Jason Day's injury problems are back, then he's a very vulnerable favourite in the top Australian market. And then you've got Minwoo Lee's a course debutant. Cameron Smith missed the cut in the Masters, hasn't been firing. So I think you land on the value as being Adam Scott. Adam Scott, an experienced, typically solid performer. He was 3rd at Quail Hollow in 2006, but more recently he was 5th in 2023, and he tied 29th last year. So this is a track that Adam Scott can handle. I don't think he'll have to do much to win this market if Jason Day is running lame. Scott carded 4 rounds of par or better in the Truist last week, so a decent warm-up spin. So they're the two that are two markets that interest me at the moment.
What a beautiful golf swing as well, Adam Scott. If he was playing, I would follow him all day long just to watch him swinging that club.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's textbook, isn't it? Textbook.
Right, Steve, before we ask what is coming up in the Racing Post to tackle this PGA Championship, we have not done a bet buy. What time have we got to be bet struck by for this?
I think it's high noon high noon. Yeah, I think the action starts at high noon. We've got a 5-hour gap between the UK and North Carolina. So yeah, I think they'll be teeing off around 7 a.m. So yeah, high noon at the absolute latest, maybe 11:45 a.m. I haven't seen the tee times yet.
Okay, right. Coming up in the Racing Post, then obviously we'll have the selections that you've given on the show, all the specials, a note on most of the market leaders, if not all of them.
And the 72-hole matches, obviously, we'll have a good look through the 72-hole matches, the first round 3 balls, and then we've got a Golf-Wise Extra every day online. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'll be on doing the round updates for Racing Post members, Racing Post Plus members. We're fully going to submerge ourselves in the USPGA.
Beautiful. Well, I was going to ask you, you got anything else planned this week? And that answers my question. Surely not. There's not enough time in the day.
No. I think I need to fully celebrate last week. It's very, very difficult. I've discussed this in the past. Sometimes you have a winner, but they happen so late in the day. Like when Sepp Stracker's winning approaching midnight, I'm not going to be going out on the town, am I? So I haven't got the stamina for that these days. So on Wednesday night, tomorrow night, I'm going to go and have a few tinctures to celebrate last week. Then, as you say,
spend it exactly. Just spend it all.
Spend responsibly. No, you're absolutely right, Dave. No, spending's important. Spending is important. Give it to the wife because she's more likely to spend it sensibly than I will. That's for sure.
Listen. Remember to just stay switched on. Steve will have your back throughout this PGA Championship.
Yes.
A reminder that betsbk.com for 30% winnings boost on this tournament as well. It is the year of the Rory. We're hoping that he's going to bag a second major. We are approaching an hour's worth. Steve, it's been an absolute pleasure as ever. You out there do get involved, as Steve has highlighted clearly. We're across all your comments as well, so do get involved. Let us know who you're backing, who you fancy. Hopefully you're celebrating wins last week. Plan up those winnings. Gamble responsibly, and we'll see you next week.